England have had their last camp before the 2026 World Cup, and there's still plenty up in the air. They dominated Group K in UEFA qualifying to put their place, winning all 8 games without conceding a single goal. Tuchel picked a bigger squad for the games against Uruguay and Japan to kind of maximise the number of players he got to look at. He wants to build a squad with clearly defined roles and 2 players for every position on the pitch, plus a third goalkeeper and 3 versatile outfield players to make up his 26. He sees the midfield comprising number 6, number 8, number 10, and wants each player to know their specific roles in the side. But despite Tuchel's attempts to create clarity, there are major questions that remain over different positions, with some big names like to miss out. So who will make the squad? Let's start with the cast iron guarantees. I mean, Jordan Pickford, there's no doubt about it, an impressive season for the club, and never let England down, has he? With Dean Henderson set to be his backup. John Stones has enjoyed a difficult season with injury, but he's the experienced centre-back we need at the World Cup. Guehi, Stones' fellow City defender, is perhaps the most certain defender to start the opening game, with Ezri Konsa cementing his place as one of Tuchel's most reliable options, having played more minutes under the German manager than any other defender. Elliot Anderson has been made clear that he's the leading candidate to play the holding position for Thomas Tuchel, with Declan Rice part of the leadership group that will be essential to any success in the number 8 positions. Jude Bellingham has won his place back in the England squad, and so although they remain essential to the manager, England need their best players firing, and without doubt Bellingham's one of those, with Bukayo Saka a little bit under pressure for his best form, but will almost certainly be in the squad. Anthony Gordon will be pole position starting on the left wing, and has regularly featured for Tuchel so far, having missed the November internationals of injury. Harry Kane, it's easy to forget that plenty of pundits and fans wanted Kane dropped for the Euro final. He's been phenomenal ever since, and the big question now is whether he can translate his sensational club form at Bayern into dominating a major international tournament. Fully almost there, I think James Trafford, did well in that Uruguay game, didn't he? And looks to be England's third choice. You got Reece James. Tuchel adores the Chelsea captain, and there's no doubt if fit he will be the starting right back, but his fitness is a bit of an uncertainty. For Tino Livramento, he's liked by Tuchel, and his ability to play both sides adds appeal. But Dan Burns, a popular and well-respected squad player who adds something different with his towering physical presence, and currently Tuchel's 4th choice centre-back behind Stones, Guehi and Konsa, but faces competition from Harry Maguire, maybe Trevor Chalobah too. Nico Riley was excellent in the World Cup qualifiers in November, and of course was impressed at Man City, scoring 2 goals in the Carabao Cup final. Lewis Hall's had a great season for Newcastle and is well placed. Henderson's been a regular inclusion, and it's likely that he will be the backup to Anderson 6 if he can maintain good form for Brentford. Adam Wharton has been something of a surprise inclusion by Gareth Southgate in the Euros, but since then established himself as one of the top Premier League midfielders with the ability to play as a deep line playmaker, as well as his role. He's played in November's match against Albania as number 6. Morgan Rogers was the man Tuchel turned to in Bellingham's absence, and he's done very well, and he looks poised to add a position at 10. Cole Palmer, it seems impossible for him not to be on the plane, but the sheer intensity of competition makes it a tough slot with Bellingham, Rogers, Foden, Eze all there. Saka and Madueke can play on the right. Palmer will probably be at the World Cup, but Tuchel has made it clear there's no guarantees. But yeah, for Madueke, Saka's deputy in Arsenal and probably will play the same role for England. For Marcus Rashford, goals and assists at Barca have pushed his case, and Tuchel likes him. Although, Rashford, he has that versatility, but Tuchel's made clear for him not to waste his talent. For those work to do, you say Ben White's back in the fold, and Tuchel is now seriously considering him as a right wing option. Harry Maguire as well, back in the squad, had a good game against Uruguay, but yeah, Tuchel didn't say much about him, did he, in terms of his likelihood of playing. Jed Spence, much like Livramento, he has that experience of playing both sides, but it may be the only time 2 fullbacks goes to the World Cup, and Livramento's enjoyed a better season with his club. For Konsa, he's one of the fringe players that could go, but I think missing this camp for injury will probably harm him. Maino's strong performances will have rejuvenated his chances, but at the same time, there's a lot of competition there. Similar story for Eze. Tuchel's spoken about him well before, but he is in that crowded area, so faces huge competitions, as does Phil Foden. It's bizarre that he won't get in, but didn't have the best game against Uruguay, did he? So yeah, there are still a few questions over him. But Jarrod Bowen, West Ham captain, seems to be third choice on the right behind Saka and Madueke, but his form is excellent and he has a chance of squeezing on the plane. Bowen's ability to play as number 9 could also play in his favour if Tuchel decides not to take a backup striker. But for Calvert-Lewin, he had an impressive game an impressive goal scoring run for Leeds and could go as Harry Kane's deputy, but you'd say Solanke is probably more likely based on what we saw. For the outside bets, he's more into like Aaron Ramsdale. He's had an okay season for Newcastle, but yeah, there seems to be 3 in front of him. Miles Lewis-Skelly, too, was a great fan of him, but he just hasn't had enough game time this season. Trevor Chalobah, could his injury have affected him? I think possibly. Tomori got back in the squad but faces stiff competition. And then you've got Luke Shaw and Trent Alexander-Arnold, more experienced players who didn't make the squad. I think, Trent is especially surprising, but I think both have had okay runs recently. So yeah, I was surprised not seeing that. Morgan Gibbs-White was given minutes by Tuchel, but looks set to be edged out. Garner did impress, but will he have enough to make it into the final squad? I'm not so sure. And for Watkins, I don't know, just a poor start to the season seems to be really costing him in his quest to get on the plane. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.